Hi there, viewers. Breaking news for you. Another sign of heightened tensions between Ethiopia and Somalia. All Ethiopian troops will have to leave Somalia. Confirmed today by a senior official from Somalia. How many troops from Ethiopia are deployed to Somalia? What is the deadline which Ethiopia will have to follow to leave Somalia? And what will happen after the withdrawal of Ethiopian troops from Somalia? We know that Ethiopian troops are part of African Union mission in Somalia. Ethiopian troops from Djibouti, Burundi, Uganda, and Kenya are part of this African Union force. Mandate of this force will expire by the end of December. By December this year, and we know that Somalia wants complete withdrawal of all African Union troops, but Kenyan President William Ruto is opposing that. And when he talked to Joe Biden a few days ago in Washington, D.C., he opposed the complete withdrawal of African Union troops from Somalia, saying it would lead to collapse of the government and Al-Shabaab will take over. So Ethiopian troops are part of African Union peacekeeping force, firstly. Secondly, under bilateral arrangement too, thousands of Ethiopian troops are deployed to the bordering areas of Somalia. Bilateral arrangement between Ethiopia and the federal member states of Somalia, like Southwest State, regional state, where Ethiopian troops are deployed, not part of African Union peacekeeping force, but it's a bilateral arrangement between Ethiopia and Southwest State. Some airports are being administered, controlled by Ethiopian troops in Southwest State. Then in Hiran region too, Ethiopian troops are deployed. In Gaidu as well, Ethiopian troops are deployed under bilateral arrangement. African Union Peacekeeping Force has nothing to do with these deployments in Hiran, in Gaidu, in Southwest State. If you remember, a few months ago, Birhanu Jula, Ethiopian military chief, spoke about Ethiopia, Somalia tensions, about access to sea, about Ethiopian troops in Somalia. And the man claimed that the day Ethiopian troops leave Somalia, Somalia would collapse. Somalia cannot survive without the presence of Ethiopian troops. And now, when tensions are high, no signs of de-escalation, Somalia has decided to expel Ethiopian troops. By the way, tensions started, we know, earlier this year when Ethiopia signed a controversial MOU with Somaliland to gain access to sea through Somaliland, to build a naval base in Somaliland, and to give recognition to Somaliland as a country. The MOU is still MOU, but it's being opposed by Somalia, which says no matter what happens, it will stop the implementation of the MOU. Ethiopian ambassador to Somalia was told to leave. Somalia's ambassador to Ethiopia was recalled for consultations in Ethiopian ambassador to Somalia was expelled, and Somalia's ambassador to Ethiopia was recalled by Somalia for consultations in January. Somaliland says preparation being made, final draft being prepared. A British law firm has been hired, and the agreement with Ethiopia is going to be implemented soon. Somalia's national security advisor spoke today. His name is Hussein Sheikh. Top man in charge of security. Hussein Sheikh says that all Ethiopian troops will leave Somalia by the end of this year. All means those which are part of African Union peacekeeping force and those which are not part of peacekeeping force but which are deployed under bilateral arrangements, like the ones deployed in Gaidu, Hiran, in Southwest State. What will happen after that? Because Kenya says that Somalia will collapse, Al-Shabaab will take over. Well, Hussein Sheikh confirmed that the mandate of Afghan troops will expire by the end of this year. After that, other Afghan countries' troops will continue their presence in Somalia. I think he mentioned 4 countries which are part of the peacekeeping force now deployed to Somalia: Djibouti, Uganda, Burundi, and Kenya, I think, if I'm not wrong. These 4 countries' troops will remain deployed to Somalia. Ethiopia will have to leave. Complete withdrawal of Ethiopian troops from Somalia's territory by the end of this year. It is being claimed by Somalia's chief of security. Now, this decision was very much expected, keeping in view that Ethiopia making progress to implement the MOU with Somaliland, no signs of de-escalation talks. Direct talks could not start. One indirect session of talks was held in Kenya, but the two could not reach a solution to de-escalate the situation. Somaliland pressing, saying that soon agreement will be signed. Can Somalia survive without Ethiopian troops? Obviously, it can survive because other African troops will remain deployed. But important point is, will regional states accept federal government's decision? Hussein Sheikh is a federal government's representative. If federal government tells Southwest state to expel all Ethiopian troops, will Southwest state implement federal government's decision? That remains to be seen. Because in Somalia, these federal member states, regional states, are very powerful. Somalia ordered the closure of Ethiopian consulates in Garowe, Portland. Nothing happened. The consulate still working. It ordered the closure of Ethiopian consulate in Hargeisa. Obviously, Somalia has no writ there, no administration there, no influence there. Ethiopia upgraded its consulate to a full-fledged embassy in Hargeisa. Ethiopia appointed ambassador plenipotentiary to Hargeisa. Both Somaliland and Puntland refused to comply with the instructions of the federal government. That's what I'm saying. It will be interesting to see, will the regional states implement federal government's call for expulsion of Ethiopian troops. Ethiopia's deployment of troops in Somalia, in Hiran, Gaidu, and Southwest state is defensive as well. It wants to keep Al-Shabaab away from its borders. Ethiopia will keep its troops, maybe if it's told to withdraw, to its side of the border. It will not let Al-Shabaab enter Ethiopian territory. If Ethiopia is told to withdraw its troops from border areas, I think it will deploy the same troops to Ethiopian side of the border. It's a big development showing that Somalia, Ethiopia tensions are continuing. No signs of de-escalation. No response from Ethiopian government so far about Hussein Sheikh's claims. But Somalia has agreed that it will host African troops in 2025 too, because it was saying a few weeks ago it wants complete withdrawal of all African troops from Somalia. It wants termination of the mandate of UN political mission too. But now, after Kenya put pressure upon Somalia by speaking openly in the US that Somalia would collapse the day all African troops leave Somalia, Somalia is changing its position. Now it is ready to host African Union troops in 2025 too, but it wants Ethiopia to leave. Watch.